Good morning, friends. I'm Tracy with Just Dig It Farms. Welcome to my greenhouse. It is a cold, rainy day here in central Alabama. So I'm in my greenhouse today. I'll probably be in here most of the day because I have a lot of seeding to do. It's time to start our tomatoes. I should have already started our peppers. And I've got more herbs to start, more vegetables to start, and I'm working on potting up some of the herbs from the Hoss Medicinal Herb Seed Collections that we sowed together. This is the echinacea, and there's more than one in a lot of these sales, plus they're getting a little bit too big. So I'm going to separate these and pot these up into this size pot where they'll live for quite a few more weeks, and then we'll plant them in the garden. That rain's getting louder and louder on this plastic of the greenhouse, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. So the Hoss Medicinal Herb Seed Collections, there's two collections. There's the Premium and the Deluxe, and they've been out of stock for quite a while. A lot of you guys ordered the seeds. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you have ordered your herb collections and we're starting these seeds together. But they've been out of stock for, I don't know, it's been quite a few weeks now. So I talked to Carrie at Hoss, and she said that they're being held up in customs right now. There's a lot of things that go into it that we just don't even know, behind the scenes stuff. So they're caught up in customs right now, and that's what they're waiting on. And there's nothing that they can do. They can't control any of that kind of stuff. So as soon as they get them in and they've restocked the seed collections, I will let you guys know. I'll do a quick short video or something. I'll put it on Instagram, Facebook. I'll let you guys know as soon as the collections are back in restock, because I know that you're wanting to get your seeds started so that you have them in time to plant for spring. So as soon as they have them in stock, I will send out an announcement and I will let y'all know. I'm just potting these echinaceas up right now. The way I do it, I just carefully put my finger in here and I go all the way to the bottom and pull up the whole root ball. And then I just carefully divide them out, making sure I'm not disturbing that root, and then put them in my little pots. And it's that simple. I planted so many echinacea seeds. I'm gonna have a lot of echinacea, a lot. That's great because all parts of the echinacea plant is used for medicine. In fact, the root of the echinacea plant has a lot of very powerful medicinal properties in it. But you really don't need to harvest the root of the echinacea until about the third year is when I like to do it. This plant multiplies by roots. So it spreads by its roots and also by its seed. And the more root that the plant has, then you can come in and harvest and take some of that root without taking all of your plant. So you can't really harvest the root of this until about the second or third year. It's really a good thing, in my opinion, to have a whole lot of echinacea. You can use the flowers, the seeds, the roots, the leaves. You can use every part of this plant has medicinal properties to it. So the more I can grow, the better it is. We've had a lot of new people join us lately. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to our family. Welcome to our farm. We're so excited you're here. We're building an amazing community here of beautiful people, very encouraging, nice, knowledgeable people, and we all just share together. And I love that about our community. We are building a cabin for Jean's parents here on our farm. We moved them here to our farm and we're building them a cabin. And from a shed. We're doing a shed to cabin build. And in the very beginning stages of the build, we didn't realize that you needed to put insulation spacers in the ceiling before you put the ceiling on. We didn't realize that. So Jean had already done the bedroom of the cabin, and some of our viewers, a couple of our viewers, brought it to our attention that we needed to do that, or there was going to be mold and such all on the walls and in the ceiling. So we went back and fixed it, and he's completing the ceiling with the spacers in there. Now see, that's the beautiful thing about this community, is we share knowledge with each other. And if somebody wouldn't have shared that with us on this channel in the comment section, we might not have figured it out in time, and then it would have been a major problem. So for those of you who gave us that suggestion and told us that, thank you very much. And I just shared that with y'all because that is the beauty of this community. We can help each other. And that's really what we want this channel to be about, is encouragement, inspiration, a place that you can come to get away from all of the negativity and the chaos of the world and the stress of the world, the stress of your day. You can come and turn on our channel and be inspired and be encouraged and help each other. So I love it when you guys give us feedback and comments in our comment section. I absolutely love it. And I believe it's more than just encouragement for us. It's for all of you to read each other's comments and gain valuable information and encouragement from each other. So I love that. I absolutely love when you guys share with us. Plus, by sharing in the comment section, we kind of get to know each other. I've developed some really sweet friendships through this channel that some of you some I haven't never even met, and then some I have met. I've had the opportunity to meet, and I've developed some really sweet friendships, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm thankful for you guys. So if you're new to our channel, Jean and I are excited that you're here. We're grateful. We're thankful that you have joined us, and we're thankful that you have subscribed to our channel. If you have not subscribed to our channel, we invite you to go and subscribe so that you can know when we have new videos up. And I invite you to go check out our website, justdigitfarms.com. It is brand new. We're in the very beginning stages of it, but I have great plans for that website to be a platform for you guys so that you can get a lot of great gardening information, herbal information. So y'all go check out that website and subscribe to the newsletter there. Also, you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook, where we can connect more on a daily basis there. We would absolutely love for you to connect with us on all of our platforms. Man, I got a lot of echinacea to pot up. Goodness. I didn't realize I was sowing so many of these. Never gonna complain about too many plants. I really don't think there's a such thing as too many plants. I made a trip the other day to Petals from the Past, and I was gonna film that for you guys, but it was just such a busy trip that I really didn't get to film. We will take a tour together to Petals in probably around next month and show you guys the gardens and everything at Petals. We'll take a look at the different plants in the gardens, and I'll give you a little tour of Petals. So I went to Petals the other day to meet with Jason Powell, the owner of Petals, and Pat Connolly. She is the event coordinator at Petals from the Past. So I went to meet with them, and we discussed and organized the 2 YouTubers meet and greet events at Petals from the Past this year. I'm so excited about this because this is a wonderful opportunity to get to meet so many of you and to get to just hang out and meet and talk with other YouTubers. So it is a wonderful, wonderful event, and I'm looking forward to it. We've got one in the spring. It is going to be April the 22nd in conjunction with Petals from the Past event that they do every single year. It's called Antiques in the Garden. It is a wonderful event. I absolutely love Antiques in the Garden. I went there every year before I ever even started working there. It is a wonderful event where they have all different kind of antique vendors come, and they set up all in the gardens, and it's just a great event. There's food trucks, and you can shop the vendors, you can shop the nursery, check out the gardens, the nursery, the farm, and you'll get to come meet some of us YouTubers. what we decided was to have the spring event just be Alabama YouTubers, because it's already such a big event that's going on with the Antiques in the Garden. There's only so much capacity of people that can comfortably be at Petals from the Past. We want it to be a nice, relaxing, fun event. We don't want it to be all crowded and stressful and you can't get to the bathroom and you can't get food. You know, we don't want it to be anything like that. So we decided to just make it Alabama YouTubers for the spring YouTubers meet and greet event at Petals from the Past. But in doing that, there's so many wonderful YouTubers and friends of ours that we're leaving out. So we decided to have another event in the fall, which is going to be September the 9th on a Saturday. And it's going to be open to a lot of different YouTubers. I have invited 27 YouTubers so far. And out of those 27, I would say we've probably got a commitment of about 15 who really want to come. I've got a lot of maybes and a lot of give me more information. So that's what this meeting was about. We got together and got the information together, so I'm going to be getting that out to everybody. But it's going to be a fantastic event in the fall. We're going to do some speaker sessions. Jason Powell from Petals from the Past is going to do a talk on Fall is for Gardening. Dr. Powell, which is Jason's father, is also part owner of Petals from the Past. And he was the fruit specialist and professor at Auburn University for many, many years. And then he retired and joined Jason and Shelley at the nursery, him and Miss Gwen, his wife. So when he joined the nursery, they brought fruit into the mix of the nursery and the farm. So Dr. Powell is going to be speaking on growing fruit in the South. And then Jason and Brooke from Cog Hill are going to be there, and they're going to be speaking. And this is all for the fall event. It's going to be a super fun event. It's going to be a wonderful day. There's food trucks, there's vendors. It's going to be an awesome day. So I really hope you guys can plan to come out to either both events or maybe just one of the events. The spring event, again, is April 22nd on a Saturday from 9 to 3. And that is in conjunction with the Antiques in the Garden event. It's at Petals from the Past in Jemison, Alabama. We're working on getting a link for you guys to register for that. Both events are 100% free. We just ask that you register so that we can get a good count of how many are coming, so that we can make proper accommodations for everyone. I don't have that link yet. They're working on it. As soon as I get it, I will get it to you guys. And then the fall event is Saturday, September the 9th, 9 to 3, and it'll be the same thing with the registration. But I wanted to get those dates out there to you guys so that you can plan, and hopefully you can make a trip out here to Alabama and meet us. I would absolutely love to meet as many of you as I possibly can. I really like to start seeds in a seed starter mix. And Haas sells a really good seed starter mix. This year I got my seed starter mix from Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember which one. But it's pretty expensive. It's like $6.95 for a little bag. And I can fill up a tray and a half with that. And that's just too expensive for me to start seeds in. That seed starting mix is just so expensive, and I'm starting so many seeds this year. I decided I'm not going to buy any more of that, and I'm just going to start my seeds in the Berger Pro Mix, which works well. It works really good. That's what I used last year to start all my seeds. That's what Petals from the Past uses when they grow their plants. So I'm not going to buy that seed starter mix anymore. It's way too expensive, but I wanted to show you what I use. This is what I'm talking about. This is Berger. It's also, it used to be BM1. But I don't know, they've changed it a little bit. But this is Berger. It's also called Pro Mix. So you can buy it in these big compressed bales like this. And this will do a lot. This will grow a lot of plants. This used to be $49.95. I paid $69.95 for this the other day. But it's still cheaper than buying all of those little seed starting bags for $6.95 and only getting a tray and a half out of it. That's just ridiculous. So it's still cheaper, but gosh, prices are going up on everything. Can't believe how much everything's gone up. It's ridiculous. Soil, fertilizer, everything, groceries, everything you go to buy is double the price, or at least it's been increased a quarter of the price. It is ridiculous. Right now I'm potting up hops. My hops come up. These are my hops right here. So I had a lot of hops come up, and I don't need a lot of hops. I definitely don't need this many hops plants. Hops is a vine, and it can go 20 to 30 feet tall in growth. And it can be invasive if you don't keep control of it. And you definitely need a structure for it to climb. I don't even have my structure yet. We've got to build something for it to climb on, and I definitely don't need this many. So really don't know what I'm going to do with all of them, but I am going to pot them up. I love when friends come over here for them to leave with a little box of some plants. I just love that. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to be able to share plants with people. I've got everything potted up that needed to be potted up, and now I'm going to sow some seeds. So this is my motherwort. I've had it in the refrigerator since the January the 14th. I've had it in there going through the cold stratification process, which is just mimicking the cold temperatures that this seed requires. Some seeds required cold temperatures to germinate, and motherwort is one of those. So I put it on a damp paper towel, put it in a Ziploc, had it in the refrigerator since January 14th, which is almost exactly a month. What I've read says that it requires the cold stratification process for a month or two. I think we should be pretty good though. So this is super tiny seed again. Somebody in the comments said that they use tweezers to sow these little tiny seeds, and that is an excellent idea. I think tweezers would really help, but I left them in the house. I don't want to get out in the rain and go back and get them. So I'm using the end of this pencil, and it's working okay. It's working pretty good. Motherwort is referred to as the herb for mothers because it's used to help. It was used a lot to help with women giving childbirth. It's been used for postpartum depression. It's a calming herb. It helps with anxiety, anxiousness. The Latin name for motherwort is Leonoris cardacea. And Leonoris in Greek means lion's tail, and cardacea means calm. So when this little plant blooms, the flower head on it looks similar to a lion's tail. And then it's a very calming herb. So that's how it's got its name. But the common name is motherwort. Very good for depression, anxiety, menstrual cramps, all of the things that us women go through and mothers go through. So that's why it's referred to as the herb for mothers, motherwort. It's hardy in zones, I think it was 3 to 8, if I remember correctly, hardy in zones 3 to 8. And it can be a very herbaceous perennial. It spreads by seed very heavily, but you can keep control of that by cutting the flower heads before they go to seed. I've never personally grown motherwort before, so I'm looking forward to growing this, seeing how it does in the garden, and using it. Now, it's such a super tiny seed. I just sit it on the surface of my soil, and I'm gonna take a little bit of soil and just kind of sprinkle lightly over it. Not too much, just enough to cover that seed a little bit. The next one that I'm going to be sowing from the Haas Medicinal Seed Collections is Horehound. Now, I've grown Horehound before. It's actually out in the garden right now. It did really well through the winter. It's looked really good. That Arctic blast that we had didn't even phase it. Horehound is a really neat plant in the garden. It makes a beautiful ground cover. It's wonderful to use like on the borders, the edge borders of your beds. It's good to use like as an underplanting or a planting right, low planting right in front of roses or any of your other herbs. It has a beautiful gray-green foliage, and it's the texture of the foliage is like a coarse kind of texture to it. It's really neat. I'm sure many of you have heard of horehound cough drops. Horehound is excellent for sore throats, coughs, breaks up congestion. It's a really good decongestant. Horehound is a very pungent herb. It's very strong. It's more of something you would make like a cough syrup with, or cough drops, or like throat lozenges, something like that. You need to add something sweet to it, like honey or something, to make like a syrup with it. But it's really good for sore throats, congestion, cough, that kind of thing. Okay, so for my herbs, what I have on here that we need to be sowing today is calendula, borage, chives, parsley, holy basil, roselle, bee balm, catnip, sweet basil, dandelion, and butterfly pea. So not all of those are in the collections. Some of these are just other herbs that I'm going to be sowing. But we'll start with the ones that are in the collections. So let's start with calendula. Oh, this is one of my favorites, y'all. I love calendula. Here it is. So in the deluxe collection, we have the calendula Prince mix. So I'm going to sow that one first. Now I have some other calendulas that I ordered from Baker Creek that I'm going to sow as well. And this is one that I'm going to do in succession. I like to grow a lot of calendula. I make a garden salve out of it, and I'm going to show you guys this year how I do that. When we harvest our calendula this year, I'm going to walk through the whole process with y'all and show you how I make my gardener salve. But it's really, really good for eczema. It's good for irritations. It's good for dry, cracked skin. And I've actually been using it on my face here lately because I've got this rash thing going on again with my face. It's something I've really been dealing with all year, and I'm trying everything I can to get it cleared up. So I started using my calendula salve on it just to see if it would help. But anyway, here is what the seed looks like. It's a very funky looking little seed. So I've made just like a little indention in my soil here, and I'm just going to put one in each indention. Some of them are littler than others. So this is a flower that is spring and fall for us. Once it starts getting really hot, then it just plays out. It's through, it's finished. It doesn't like that heat. Now I'm just going to cover this up. I love growing a mix of flowers, herbs, vegetables, fruits. I love growing that beautiful mix of diversity in my garden. And that is one of the things that really drew me to the potager garden style, is just that beautiful mix, that diversity of all of those things, and creating just a lovely space. Not just a space that grows food and medicine, but also a space that is just beautiful and lovely. That's what I love so much about that potager garden style. I've also got this calendula from Baker Creek. It's called Strawberry Blonde, and I'm gonna go ahead and sow a flat of it too. So I'm gonna have one flat of the Strawberry Blonde and one flat of the Prince mix from the Halls collection, and then next week I'll probably sow another 2 flats of calendula. I am in Central Alabama, Zone 8. My last frost date is March the 17th. Today is February the 11th. So I know there are some of you out there who are following along with me and sowing your seeds with me. So I wanted to give you that information. Really, a lot of these that I'm sewing today probably should have been sewn last week, but I didn't get to do it. So I'm getting it done today. So for those of you who are following along with me of what seeds I'm sowing when, I'll go over my list with you because I'm not going to bore you guys with me sitting here sowing seeds all day long. So I'll go over my list with you and tell you what I am sowing today. Again, today is February the 11th. And really, this is my list that I should have sown last week. But I'm a little bit behind, so this is what I'm doing today. On my herbs, I'm doing calendula, borage, chives, parsley, holy basil, roselle, bee balm, catnip, sweet basil, dandelion, and butterfly pea. On my flowers, it's marigolds and alyssum, sweet alyssum. On my vegetables, it's time to sow another round of lettuce and spinach. And I'm going to sow some chard today, and peppers, eggplant, and tomatoes. Now the peppers, I really probably should have done that a couple of weeks ago, but on my list I've got peppers, eggplants, and tomatoes. As far as direct sow, it's time to direct sow sweet peas, carrots, beets, radish. It's also getting very close to time to plant our potatoes, our white potatoes, and I'm waiting on my seed potatoes to come from Hoss. So as soon as they get here, I'm going to get those in the ground. A good date for us to kind of remember when to plant our potatoes is Valentine's Day, which is next week. The next herb from the Hoss collection that we're going to do today is holy basil, or tulsi. It's also known as tulsi. And it's considered a sacred plant in India and other parts of the world. Super tiny little seeds. Can you see them without me dropping them? So I'm going to just surface sow these. I'm just going to sow them on the surface, and then I'm just going to press them in. I think that's where I made my mistake on my peppermint, is they just got buried too deep. And I've got like 3 little tiny peppermints coming up. Holy basil or tulsi is an herb that is used widely in Ayurvedic medicine. And it's a really good adaptogen. What an adaptogen is it brings your body into balance, mentally and physically. So whatever you're struggling with, it just helps to bring that into an even balance. So adaptogen is really, really good. Holy basil is also good for sinus infections, colds, headaches. There's a wide use for holy basil, and it makes a delicious tea. It's a wonderful one in the garden. The bees, pollinators love holy basil. Okay, the next one we're going to do is from the premium collection, and it is bee balm. I love bee balm. Bee balm is one of my favorite herbs. I love the fragrance of it, and it's just a beautiful, cool looking flower. Actually, that's the flower. It's on the front of this collection. That's the bee balm flower. Super cool flower. I love, love, love it. One of the reasons why it's called bee balm is if you get stung by a bee, you can take the leaf and rub it on the bee sting, and it'll take the sting away. It's a bee balm. It's a bee sting balm. Kind of cool, really. Okay, this is a tiny seed again. Bee balm's in the mint family. So this is a tiny seed. And I'm just kind of surface sowing it as well. Bee balm has a lot of medicinal uses. It's really good for digestive issues. It's great to make a tea out of it for any kind of upset stomach, any kind of digestive issues. It's really good for that. The Native Americans used bee balm a lot for their medicine, so it's a wonderful herb to have. It's an excellent one for your pollinators and your bees in the garden. It is excellent to attract all of your beneficials and pollinators. It's just a good herb to have. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is catnip. Catnip tea. That is a wonderful tea. Catnip is also in the mint family, and it's like an aphrodisiac for cats. Cats love catnip. They love to just waller in it. Very funny. It's very funny to watch a cat while they're in catnip. But catnip it's like a sedative. It's calming, helps you sleep. It's good for insomnia. It's excellent for digestive issues. Catnip's a really good herb to have. It's great to make a good catnip tea right before bedtime. You can make a catnip and chamomile tea with some honey and peppermint. A really good tea. I'm out of catnip and I'm out of chamomile in my apothecary chest, so I am happy that I'm growing some this year. I'm looking forward to harvesting my catnip, my chamomile, my peppermint, and maybe even a little lemon balm, and making up a wonderful little tea right before bedtime. I miss that tea. The last one for today in our medicinal collection is roselle. So there's a lot of different kinds of hibiscus out there. There's so many different species, varieties of hibiscus. Roselle is the only one that forms a calyx, which is its edible fruit. And you can make so many things out of that. Sheila over at Hoss Tools makes a wonderful roselle wine. You can make roselle tea, jam, there's all kinds of things that you can do with this roselle hibiscus. It's super high in vitamin C. It's an antioxidant. It's just a wonderful herb, and it makes a delicious tea. The first time I had the tea was we were in Guatemala on a mission trip, and it's pretty much all they served. With every meal, anytime you needed something to drink, you were served Rosa de Jamaica, which was a tea made from this hibiscus, roselle hibiscus. You can make a hot tea, or you can make almost like a Kool-Aid with it for kids. It's really good tea, really good for you. Great vitamin C, great antioxidant. It's got a lot of other great medicinal benefits. It's a wonderful plant. Now, it is a tropical plant. So I think the zones it's hardy from is 9 to 11, I think. And we grow it here as an annual. So, and it gets fairly big. It can get like 8-10 feet tall and wide. So it gets pretty big. So you gotta make space for this plant. But it is an awesome one. Awesome. Well, y'all, I have been out here in the greenhouse all day today. It has been such a peaceful, relaxing day in this greenhouse with the rain hitting the plastic. It's just been a very relaxing and peaceful day, but I got a lot accomplished. So I got out here in my greenhouse this morning. I think it was around 9:30 or so. I went in just long enough to eat a sandwich with Jean for lunch. Come right back out here. It is 4:30. Like, this day has just gone by, and it's crazy how fast time flies when you're enjoying yourself. I did get a lot done though. I got everything potted up that needed to be potted up. I sowed a lot of herb seeds, and I did a few flowers and a few more cool season vegetables that needed to be done. I did not get to my tomatoes or peppers today though. It's Saturday right now, and I'm hoping that I can get out here Monday morning and get those tomatoes and peppers started. I've got to call it a day and go get my little brooder box set up for some new baby chicks that Jean and I are going to pick up tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and Jean and I are going to church with Zach and Jacqueline and Eleanor in the morning, and then we're going over to their house for lunch. It is Zach's birthday, and we're going over there to have lunch with them and celebrate his birthday. And then a friend of theirs has some wood for sale. You follow Head Family Farm. This is the same wood that they're using to create the borders of their potager garden. Well, their friend has more, and Jean and I are going to go up there and buy some so that I can replace the borders in the potager garden. But something else we're going to be doing that I'm really excited about is we're picking up some baby chicks from Zach and Jacqueline at Head Family Farm. They have a hatchery business, and they specialize in breeding chickens to make beautiful, beautiful colored eggs. And that's what I've been wanting. I want a beautiful egg basket with all the colors, the blues, the greens, the olives, the browns. So Jacqueline is getting me some chicks together to create that beautiful egg basket. and we're gonna pick up about 10 chicks tomorrow. So I've got to go get our little brooder section set up for those baby chicks. Get the little feeders and waterers out, and run an extension cord and to plug up a heat lamp for them. So I gotta go get all that ready so that we can get those baby chicks tomorrow. We have about 14 chickens right now, but they're old. My girls are old and they're not laying like they should. Jacqueline and Zach and Eleanor brought me 2 chickens New Year's Eve that were already laying. So there's a copper maron and a Americana. I believe it was a lavender Americana. So we have 2 girls that are laying now, but I need more eggs. Everybody knows the price of eggs, and I definitely need more eggs. We're all super excited to get some more baby chicks, and eventually we'll have more eggs on our farm. It's really raining hard now, and I feel like I'm screaming at you guys. So I'm gonna wrap up this video right here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the greenhouse today. God bless you, and I will see y'all on the next video. This is how I've been starting my seeds this year, and it's been working really good. I've got this couple of shelves set up here in my kitchen, and this is my heat mat that these are sitting on. That's my heat mat from Hoss. It is a 48-inch heat mat. So my first step is to bring the seed trays inside that I just sowed and put them on this heat mat. And then as soon as they start germinating and little seeds start popping up, bring them over here to my grow lights. So I just use the heat mat to get the soil warm enough to germinate the seed. As soon as it germinates, then it needs light, so I bring it over here to my grow station. Now, whenever they start getting good size and looking really good and healthy, then I take them out to my greenhouse. And this has been my process this year, and it's been working really good.